Imagine being just 16 years old, your life ahead of you, and suddenly finding yourself accused of a crime you didn't commit. This is the harrowing journey of Carly Gregg, a teenager whose life spiraled into chaos after the murder of her friend Jason Thompson. In a case that shook the small town of Maplewood, Carly's conviction raised questions about justice, truth, and the reliability of eyewitness accounts. Today, we explore the twists and turns of Carly's story, her fight for a new trial, and what it teaches us about the fragility of justice. Carly Gregg was a bright, lively teenager. On a chilly November night in 2020, tragedy struck when Jason Thompson, a popular local youth, was found murdered in an alley. The news shocked the community, and soon, all eyes turned to Carly. The police quickly gathered evidence. Witnesses reported seeing Carly near the crime scene on the night of the murder, and some claimed to have heard an argument between her and Jason. Carly's recent breakup with him added to the suspicion, suggesting jealousy might have been a factor. Throughout the investigation, Carly maintained her innocence. Her family supported her, insisting she would never hurt anyone. The community was divided. Some believed in her guilt, while others stood by her. The trial began in early 2021, drawing significant media attention. The prosecution presented its case, portraying Carly as a troubled teen with a motive for murder. They relied heavily on eyewitness testimonies and circumstantial evidence. The defense, however, argued that the evidence was unreliable and questioned the credibility of the witnesses. Carly's parents attended every day of the trial, their hearts heavy with worry. As the days passed, it became evident that the prosecution's case relied more on emotion than solid evidence. The defense highlighted inconsistencies in witness statements, raising questions about the thoroughness of the police investigation. Despite this, the jury deliberated for only a few days before reaching a verdict: guilty. Carly was sentenced to 25 years to life in prison. Her family was devastated, and Carly herself was in disbelief. She maintained her innocence, feeling that the justice system had failed her. In prison, Carly struggled but remained hopeful. She spent her days reading, studying law, and connecting with other inmates. Over time, she became determined to fight for her freedom. In late 2022, her legal team discovered new evidence: a witness who had not been interviewed during the original investigation, and new forensic evidence that contradicted the prosecution's claims. The new witness came forward, stating they had seen someone else near the crime scene that night. This revelation reignited Carly's hopes for a new trial. In September 2023, a hearing was scheduled to assess the validity of the new evidence. As the hearing commenced, emotions ran high. Carly's family and supporters filled the courtroom, while the prosecution prepared to defend the original verdict. The new evidence was presented, raising serious doubts about Carly's guilt. The defense argued that this new information was crucial for a fair trial. Public reaction was mixed. Many rallied for Carly's release, while others stood firm in their belief that justice had been served. After hours of deliberation, the judge decided to grant Carly a new trial, allowing her to present the new evidence. The courtroom erupted in mixed reactions. Carly's family embraced her, tears of joy streaming down their faces. As Carly prepared for her new trial, she reflected on her journey. She felt a renewed sense of purpose, determined to clear her name. Her legal team worked tirelessly, gathering more evidence and preparing for what would be a critical moment in her life. The new trial began with a sense of anticipation. The courtroom was filled with supporters, journalists, and community members. The defense presented the new witness and forensic evidence, while the prosecution struggled to uphold their original arguments. The atmosphere was tense as the jury listened intently. Carly took the stand, recounting her story and the events leading up to the night of the murder. Her heartfelt testimony resonated with many in the courtroom. As the trial progressed, it became clear that the prosecution's case was weakening. In the end, after several weeks of testimony and deliberation, the jury reached a verdict. Carly was found not guilty. Relief washed over her and her family as they embraced, tears of joy flowing. The community was left in shock, grappling with the implications of the verdict. Carly walked out of the courtroom, finally free, but aware of the scars left by her experience. She vowed to use her voice to advocate for others who faced wrongful convictions. The journey had been long and painful, but she was determined to make a difference. Carly's story teaches us that the quest for justice is often fraught with challenges and that the truth can be obscured by emotions and assumptions. It reminds us to question the reliability of evidence, especially when lives hang in the balance. As we conclude Carly's story, let's remember the lessons it imparts about empathy, vigilance, and the importance of fighting for the truth. We must advocate for fairness and ensure that no one else suffers the way Carly did. If you found this story compelling, please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for joining us today, and remember, justice must always be pursued, for every voice deserves to be heard.